People who, in many instances, have absolutely no clue what they are doing. The Marxists, the anarchists,
nice.
the looters.
Okay.
We're back with a vengeance, baby.
3 weeks and $3 short. Inane Blather is back. Just in time for, of course, once again, the most important election of your life.
So I keep hearing.
And that is State Representative District 15. Woo! I just hit my microphone. Oh, starting off great. No, but we're back. A bunch of stuff has been going on. Thanks for all of the people that actually listen. We really like doing this, so, you know, it's really just for us to do it. I like doing it. We've been missing doing it.
Yeah.
But we've also been hanging out, so we've been missing you, dear listener.
Truly.
Yeah, everyone's just been saying...
Where have you been, Natalie?
But
everybody's telling us to stop doing what we're trying to do.
But we have decided we will continue on.
Everybody's telling us to stop doing what we're trying to do.
And no matter what, we will know that we did the right thing.
I will go to bed sleeping every night. I will go to bed sleeping every night knowing I did the right thing for this show. I did the right thing for Decker. I did the right thing for me. You go yourself!
Well,
I wanted to start off with some energy, so I hope that at least one person somewhere understands what that's referencing. But
that's so funny.
We got to return to a nice, comforting. We got to take solace in the comforting notion that you're in the arms, within the warm bosom of your brethren, your sisters, the fraternal sorority of
headstrong, stubborn, quibbling, self-centered, vindictive, obnoxious, hormonal, sexually preoccupied, evil, thieving, cross-dressing jerks.
The fraternal sorority. I like that.
The fraternal sorority of they them jerks.
Yeah.
That is the Inane Blather audience. But so first question. Did you vote yet?
No. On my ballot.
Well, good.
It's
That's
sitting
good
here,
because who knows? Maybe your ballot might have been burned up in a firebomb.
True, yeah.
I saw national news that some ballot boxes.
Vancouver, right?
Yeah, and Portland, Washington, and Oregon attempts and successful attempts at exploding and firebombing some ballot boxes. What sucks, of course, is that when I saw this news, the first ground news even, the first place that it picked it up was the Washington Times. And I'm like, I don't want to read this. And it's like a first thing, because, of course, Washington and Oregon, as we all know, we do complete vote by mail. We do early voting, all that stuff. It's fantastic. It's the best. Everyone should do it like this.
Best.
But, you know, and then it's like hundreds of ballots get destroyed. Oh, hundreds of ballots in Washington, damaged 3 in Oregon. So, great.
Heck?
Thanks a lot, guys. But federal and local authorities are investigating incendiary attacks on ballot drop boxes. But anyway, so as soon as I open the Washington Times article, I mean, it's like in the first paragraph, you know, reigniting calls, you know, skepticism.
Reigniting? That's some pretty good
I mean, that was
choice,
off the top of my head. It probably wasn't in their fucking article, but...
They were like sparking conversation.
Reigniting the controversy around, you know, mail-in ballots or whatever, or, you know, not in-person voting.
We've had it
and,
for, like,
election security
over 10
and
years.
it's like, yeah, you know who's probably burning the shit up in these liberal ass places? You know who's trying to burn up ballots in fucking Portland and Vancouver?
The place where, like, in Oregon, Portland, where the Proud Boys are from. I don't know. I don't know who it could possibly be.
Yeah, where there's all these red voters, and then what? They're going to liberal strongholds and burning up ballots and rekindling rekindling doubts about election security and voting troubles in a state where you don't have to vote in person. Fucking bullshit. It better not. Literally, if something like this successfully got us to change how we vote in this state, that's fucking terrorism. Like, that is successful.
It won't.
Terrorism.
Yeah.
Straight up. I love how we get to vote here. It works. It makes it easy for everyone to vote. Our turnout is okay. It could be better, but
better
I
than
have
places
voted
that don't have
in
it.
every single election since 2007. I got a ballot back at the old house, and I still voted in there was 2 things to vote for.
Yeah,
because it was a rural ballot,
in 2007. I don't even know. 2008's the presidential year.
It was do you want to vote for a
Special
levy
thing, yeah.
or something like that is what it was, yeah. And then, of course, I voted for president in 2008. But it's it's just...
it wouldn't change that in
better
Washington.
Not work.
It won't. We've had it established for a long time. I think this is something it'll be interesting to see if they find anyone, which I feel like, sometimes there's good police work that's done. Remember those bombs that were sent to Nancy Pelosi and stuff, and they found they trailed it. So maybe there was someone's Ring camera. They could find out who did this, and
what the fuck?
Just kind of
Portland police, yeah. Portland police have also identified a, quote, suspect vehicle seen leaving the scene of the fire in Portland, which is believed to be tied to the 2 incidents in Vancouver as well.
Vancouver,
the car
for people that don't know,
appears...
it's 15
very
minutes.
Close to,
it's right across the Columbia River. It's they say that's Portland, Washington is Vancouver. If people people are not
exactly.
maybe from around, I don't know, some people across wherever, but that's
for all of our New Zealand listeners, it's very close. Just in
very
a different
close.
state. But
essentially
and for all of
city.
our Australian listeners, states are different. They've got different borderinos,
as you call it in Australia.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome to the max.
But regardless, vote. Whatever your presidential thing. I don't know. We can get into that stuff, of course. We're gonna do a big
Washington, Oregon, do whatever you want. For president, who
double
cares?
Episode spectacular. I think I came across. I wish that we had a big loud coming. Dane Blather's coming back, air horns, sound effects, and stuff like that to go along with the best soundbite from an old Cumtown episode from Nick Mullen himself, the man whom we saw live on stage.
He did.
He described
my Instagram.
the best way to vote right here, which is
Suck my dick, government! The government is fucking gay! The bank can suck my motherfucking dick, and the government can just eat my fucking ass. And I will shit into the bank's mouth. Tim Apple, you can suck my fucking cock.
that pretty much sums up how you can think about it. But it's just
suck my dick, government!
But yeah. So, back to the story. The car appears to be a black or dark colored 2001 to 2004 Volvo S60. So be on the lookout.
Yeah.
But It looks like they might have someone. You're right. They could find these dumbass people. And what really sucks is that, like, you have all this, and what if your ballot just gets fucking burned up? What the fuck?
Totally.
I mean, that's why. I mean, you do keep your stub. I never keep my
They have
stub
some-
and, like, track it. I mean,
You
I
don't
keep
have
it
to keep
around
the stuff
for a
to
while,
track it.
and
You
then
can
it's
find
like,
it without that.
whatever.
They have a really good ballot tracking here in Washington State.
Yeah,
All of our
you can
stuff
use it.
is so easy and
It's
nice.
cool.
Oh yeah. But yeah, that's really like, wow, what a commitment to go burn a ballot box. Like
Yeah.
you really
Commit
have,
straight up like federal crime.
yeah, like you're going to prison if you're caught. Like you're really,
Big
it's like, this is no
time.
joke. That woman in Texas she was like sentenced to like 5 years for accidentally voting when she thought she could and she couldn't. That's
Yeah,
5
that
years for that.
sucks.
What do you think it is for burning up a bunch of ballots?
For purposefully,
Oh my God.
yeah, using an
two different
incendiary
places.
device, as
Yeah.
they say in the article,
What are you gonna-
in multiple locations and destroying hundreds of ballots.
If you destroyed one,
you're going
any
to
of this, all of this mail sort of protection that's there, like the sanctity of like, or this is at the ballot box, so this wasn't in the mail. Yeah, that's right. But it is a government sort of obviously thing. But those boxes, like anything like that, that's like if you threaten a postal worker, you do something like
Yeah.
to that. It's like automatic. There's like minimums for these things, so just so
Yeah.
you know.
it's a
so
$25,000 fine. Yeah, it's a federal
wow,
crime.
and a
And
ballot
it's like all
box.
those, like a little, like the USPS box, like what that's sitting on, like that's like a federal property.
Yeah.
That's the federal government. You know,
Don't
no matter what it is.
fuck with it. You can
Like,
get in trouble.
yeah,
legitimately.
They have their own like military police like
Yeah.
type of thing. You know, it's the
There is-
post office. Like imagine what they've got for the ballots. Who knows? Who knows? I wouldn't fuck with that. That's all I know.
All
You
I know
even
is
if
that it's
you're-
like serious. They
They're
take it
like-
stupid serious
they're
sometimes.
burning all these ballots, and they're just being all defiant, and they're like,
Everybody's telling us to stop doing what we're trying to do.
they're like, we think we're doing the right thing, and
Everybody's telling us to stop doing what we're trying to do.
Yeah. I just wonder what kind of person it will end up being. Like, that is just such a huge commitment to the
Yeah.
cause of whatever your cause is. You
Yeah.
like literally. I wouldn't do this if it was a police station. I would say you're my hero, like, But you had some beliefs, really, and you really, like, maybe you got some election sort of, whatever you got going on.
well, yeah.
Some
It's
obviously like mentally
if it was
ill
something
person.
completely different, I would feel differently about it. Sure, okay.
No, I know. I mean, just like committing, like, that's like government property and doing all kinds of damage and stuff like that. But for a cause that you believe in, like ACAB or whatever. But wow, that's
Well-
just really interesting. It feels like stuff like that. Like Dad and I were talking, like election talk like that stuff is like rigged and like all that kind of like trust in our elections is like pretty new, like to the degree that like Trump
Yeah.
really changed that
He
whole
really
attitude. Like
fucked
people
this
usually just
shit
kind
up.
of like they voted or they didn't. People like Americans, I don't know, we didn't really care that much or whatever. It was just like a big show, but we knew the results were the results. There wasn't any like, we were talking like millions of cases of just like of voter fraud all across the nation. All these things that people like genuinely now they're like, no, that's what it is. It's like people getting bussed in and blah, 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 blah. Like how mainstream it is to think that kind of shit
Paranoid
happens
delusion.
when it's literally this huge
like-
case study. It's like
Yeah.
literally 1 billion ballots cast, and there were 11 cases of actual voter fraud, which is pretty much zero in that
Yeah.
like number. Like it's like, of course, stuff like that does happen, just like stuff that's against the law happens
But
all the
it's
time.
statistically negligible.
Like
Yeah.
where murders and burglaries and all that kind of every single crime that there is. That's like,
Sure.
you can someone's going to break the law at some point. That's why we have those
But
rules.
you don't
kind of,
like,
but
you
it
don't
doesn't.
like not fly because the plane could be hijacked. You know, it's like that's insane. That's that's the mind of
Psychotic, deranged, cultist liars.
Delusional
the same thing
people,
with the voting
yeah.
shit.
But
yeah,
because they think it's just like going to happen or is, I mean, like it's happening. Like Trump is like straight up, like for years, he has just been peddling that, like, and a lot of
doesn't even believe it.
and a lot of election denying like officials. I mean like, representatives and stuff like all across the country, Republican Party choosing to stand with that, like the Steele sort of narrative, and how ingrained it got into like the average American. Oh God. Like, and then into the brains of some other people, like how people really, really, they think that the elections are like rigged, and they're so, you know what? We can say all the gerrymandering and all the kind of crap leading up to it, bullshit and all that kind of stuff. Election results, we do a good job. Like our elections, actually, there is some like integrity to the standards that they hold for counting votes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like it's like
voter
really
fraud, negligible. It's so ridiculous. Like, and not only that, it's like so obvious in how it points all these idiots sorry, but all these people's eyes away from the fact that election fraud is possible and does happen and is caught sometimes, and people get in trouble for it, sometimes not punished harshly enough or not taken out of like, government positions or not, barred from campaigning, consulting, things like that. Stuff like, the GOP all sitting with this, stop the steal bullshit. It's like, I mean, it's a pretty open thing that they kind of stole the 2000 election. I mean, that pretty much happened, through like election, not through voter fraud. It's not from getting people to vote like with
Twice
fake ballots or,
whatever,
bussing people in or any of that bullshit. It's from election commission stuff, from judges stopping counts and recounts, stuff like that, where the infrastructure itself that's in place that the party gets some sort of say over, like what is going to happen in Georgia type of thing, where all of these crazy stop the steal people are in charge of like voting commissions and ballot counting and electoral college representatives. Like, and they're all GOP freaks,
and at the same
or in a swing state, or in the positions of, they're in charge of that infrastructure, where they can just help steal that state for Trump and just openly do it if they want to, which they do, and they can.
If they're capable, if they're competent
if it's a close race.
But I feel like, and it's also like they have that going on where they can do that. And then the narrative is like straight up Fox News is like people are standing outside the driver's license office getting registered to vote, a bunch of illegal immigrants. They're opening up the borders to bring in illegal immigrants to vote in elections. Like that's like the narrative that's out there. So then I feel like they can have an easier time even getting away with, I don't know, like the pressure they're putting on these elections to like tighten them up and like lock them down, and just like the rhetoric that Georgia is that's the example I always use of like what a difference it means to vote here in Washington versus a place like Georgia. Like what kind of like, it's really easy to be able to vote here. You don't have to hardly prove anything. You don't have to prove you're a citizen. You just have to state that you are, of course.
Yeah.
Like there's rules. But you don't have to have a driver's license. The last four of your social security number. that's enough. You know, you have an address or not. You could say there's a cross street where you live or whatever. It's like really, 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 really simple. And
because why shouldn't it be? 'Cause
yeah,
it's your fucking right to be able to vote. You live here, you get a vote. You know? And it's like, because also, on the other hand, why would you go out of your way to try to cast one fraudulent vote when, if you get found out, you go to prison and you're fined
one fraudulent
tens of thousands
vote,
of dollars and your life is ruined to cast one vote in Washington state? Why would you do that? Who...
Especially if you're going to cast a vote as a Democrat. It'd be like, what a stupid waste of time for president. It's like, it's already in the bag.
Like, for what? For some initiative? What? And what? Maybe the gas company that's trying to get you to vote for this initiative? What are they paying you $50,000 for your one vote to offset the chance that you might get caught? No. None of this happens.
For one vote.
It's idiotic. And like... with the study in Washington with the times with the actual voter fraud when they did, it was like, that was like 2 billion ballots. That was more than 1 billion or something. It was a crazy amount because that was over 20 years and all of these races. And that maybe that's the one you were talking about or something, because that was that just Washington with 11 ballots? 7 of those.
I don't think that was Washington. That was like a like a national sort of thing.
Oh,
like looking at all of these ballots cast over this certain time period and like just a study done.
One that I saw was Washington. The numbers are just staggering, and of course, it was like something like 7 out of 11 or something. You know, this is a name blather. I don't have these numbers off the top of my head, but it's something I've looked up multiple times when arguing with people over the internet. Like the majority of that small number that were legitimately like fraudulent ballots, the majority of those were still like accidental too. I mean, and the people got in trouble, but they were accident. They're like, I didn't know. They fucked it up. They cast a ballot fraudulently. I mean, and there was those remaining ones that were like, they voted as a dead relative or something like that. They were just complete fucking idiots. They're like, I'm gonna vote for them and turn it in and sign for them, you know. And they got caught.
Yeah,
like it's just, and they got caught. They probably went to prison for like a couple years, like for no reason. I don't know.
And I feel like
you know, and you get the chance to vote for this stuff in Washington. You know what's nice is that I got sent the Washington State Initiative Ballot Guide Special Edition.
Special edition.
It's just nice propaganda, because they just call it the Initiative Ballot Guide. But it's paid for by Defend Washington, which is like a progressive PAC. Top 5 contributors. SEIU 775 Ballot Fund, No on 2117. Surprisingly, top 3 donors to PAC contributors include Steve and Connie Ballmer, which was kind of cool. Who? Steve Ballmer, the billionaire, the Microsoft billionaire and owner of the LA Clippers, still pouring money into progressive stuff in Washington, which I was surprised by. But it just goes over the 4 ballot initiatives.
Vote no.
And tells you to vote no on all 4. And I was like, hey, this is good. So
definitely.
And Initiative I-2109. This initiative cuts more than $2 billion from education, school construction, and child care, while giving a tax break to a small handful of mega millionaires and billionaires. It would repeal a tax on extraordinary profits from the sale of stocks and bonds. Initiative I-2117 a purposefully misleading initiative opposed by firefighters, small business owners, doctors, and nurses,
Amazon.
tribal nations, environmental groups, and more. It's a threat to our air, land, and water, putting our health at risk and resulting in more adults and kids suffering with asthma and illness. Vote no.
Literally that one, it goes from like the tribes to Amazon to the firefighters to this union to that. It's like every single like industry is like, no, we don't want this. This is
Yeah. It would jeopardize vital protection for our waterways, more pollution in the air we breathe, cut transit programs and investments in our transportation infrastructure, and gut programs that protect us from wildfires.
Good timing, Brian Haywood.
And it would, yes, yep. They're being funded by millionaire hedge fund manager Brian Haywood, who moved here from California.
And
These people are
sick. And he thinks he knows the American farmer's experience because he keeps bees as a hobby as a millionaire. Like a fucking idiot. Not that keeping bees is
about that.
Not that that's a bad thing, but for him to think that he's
No.
like the American farmer.
It is a bad thing because those fucking people, they do that in California where they just put bees on their land so they get a tax break to call it farmland. That's all they have to do. So they don't have to have
Using
a farm.
the bees
They can
for-
call it agricultural land because they put some fucking bee boxes on it.
How
And then they
low
have
can you
this
go?
huge swaths of investment land that they then sell off for huge gains and use it for whatever the fuck they want. They pay lower taxes, lower capital gains, all this stuff. It's bullshit. They do that in California all the time, these rich people.
That guy-
That's why he has bees. I am sure of it.
Yeah, Humby and I hate Brian Haywood, and I think what we've heard in our circles is that he wants to run for governor in the next run around.
In Washington?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Good luck, dumb fuck.
Good luck, Mr.
Yeah.
California.
Good luck after all 4 of these initiatives fail, by the way, which they are.
Yeah, right.
Wake the fuck up!
Nice.
Initiative I-2124, written by right-wing Republicans. They don't want us to know their initiative only helps big private insurance companies.
Everybody's
that jack
favorite.
up premiums and deny coverage to people with cancer, diabetes, and other common pre-existing conditions. They take away care options for millions of Washingtonians by bankrupting Washington's long-term care benefits fund. That's one, too, that's like, that sucks. That they just have us all by the balls. It sucks that it's just another tax that we're all paying, and it's helpful. I don't want it to go away, but it's like, why aren't all these fucking rich people paying a shitload of money into this? Why am I paying a bunch of money into this? Why are all these seniors having such a hard time? Inflation's up, people are on fixed income, and people need help with long-term care, with long-term medical care. People are aging into all these horrific financial problems, and then we've got these millionaires living in Washington, and suddenly the guy working at Jack in the Box is seeing more coming out of his paycheck, and he's going to look at this and be like, oh, yeah, I've got to vote yes. I don't want to keep paying that. Like, man.
And
they know what they're doing.
There are 8 billionaires in Seattle, and Umberto told me it's something like either 53 or 56,000 millionaires in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
So there's definitely that's in Seattle.
Yeah.
There's definitely some money, around here. Some people can be paying for some of these things. Like,
yeah,
there is so many. I'm like 8 billionaires. There's not even a million
not
people,
even just these people
in Seattle.
These corporations.
Corporations
gonna
are people
leave.
too, Doug.
Well, then they can pay. No. Initiative I-2066 increases energy costs and attacks energy efficiency by repealing common sense protections. It could raise annual gas utility bills by $150 or more in coming years, part of a nationwide scheme by powerful interest groups who want to stop the transition to clean energy and make as much money as possible, while family and businesses pay higher bills. Vote no.
And they're
Makes
tacked
it easy
on that
this year.
Yeah, no. The tacked on that last one is to say they're coming for your gas stove. You know,
Yeah.
that's like their
Oh,
whole
so ridiculous
thing.
Just straight up lying. That's what they're just like. They do that. I mean, 2 weeks ago, I was in a good old industry, trade conference and stuff like that. And man, oh man, I mean, and they straight up say there, oh man, make sure you guys go out and vote, and make sure you vote yes for every single one of these. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not voting yes for any of these fucking things. And it's like, what, for gas? It's like, because yeah, I mean, a lot of the, including the place where I work, for climate controlled storage units, you use gas, heat, and stuff like that. And it's like, but even if this doesn't pass, it doesn't affect us. I'm not building a new place with gas heat. It doesn't matter. They're not taking it away. It's like, this is just for building new places. And if you can't figure out how to do it with electricity, then fuck off and go somewhere else. I don't care. If you can't figure it out, go to Oregon or something. I don't
Idaho.
care. Yeah, go to Idaho. Exactly, yeah. That's you're better off there. Go to Montana, and we'll just keep driving you off somewhere else where they want to do natural gas.
Storage
until you
lands
have
as
nowhere
far
to
as
go,
the eye can see
okay?
on Yellowstone National Park.
Exactly. I'm sure that's what will happen once Trump wins next week or whatever it's going to happen. But, after the...
Right now, you're very close to a world war on this whole.
Everybody's telling us to stop doing what we're trying to do.
But we're going to keep going. Oh, boy.
Well, I have a manifesto of petty grievances update. I got a lot of problems with you people, and you're going to hear about it. But...
You what?
I said I got a lot of problems. No.
You what?
So, there are these light bulbs that you can get at Lowe's.
No, there aren't.
And they're like... Humby and I were looking for one. They used to have one in their old place. Oh, so this is the first... recording of Inane.
That's true.
Since I moved to Seattle. So, I'm over here now. Humby and I moved in together.
Oh, yeah, update.
Update corner.
We hung out IRL. We saw Nick Mullen at the Tacoma Comedy Club.
That's correct.
It was fantastic.
It was. We were like right up on stage.
Hung out at Natalie and Umberto's loft pad. It was swanky and awesome.
Yeah.
I love North Beacon Hill. Oh, sorry to dox you, but
there's a lot
Seattle's
of people
great.
around here.
And if you want to find them, their address is...
Google Maps will not take you here, so...
That's true. Yeah, that's a good point. All you have to know is that where they live...
People have to flush their toilet 15 times.
So that's a hint.
Yeah.
But anyway, so what light bulbs?
So anyways, yeah. So we moved here. So at Umberto's old place, they had this light bulb. Maybe they probably just ordered it off Amazon. And it had like a little remote where you could change the color to it. But it was just like up in the like overhead
LED.
light. So we wanted something similar. There's 2 lights upstairs in our bedroom in the loft. And so we got these bulbs that you can change the colors on from Lowe's. And I was like, okay, so there's not a remote, otherwise it kind of gets like more expensive and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, these are all like smart light bulbs. And I'm not really sure how I'm feeling about this.
You have to use like an app and shit.
Yes.
That's
so,
what you're
yes.
working towards?
This fucking light bulb piece of shit. For one thing, okay, I want to say, why would anyone on this planet think that the default setting when you first put it in, it's a light bulb, you know, you can flick it on. Why would it be to just keep cycling through the colors or to like glow and dim and like get brighter and dim? And it's like, okay, so I got to figure out this app evidently pretty quickly here, or just turn the light off. So
otherwise I'm going to go insane.
So
from
that's
having
the
this
first
light
thing.
bulb
Cycling
on.
through the fucking thing. Be a light bulb, and then I change you from there. What are you doing?
Yes.
Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. And this motherfucking app. So it's like I have to have my Bluetooth on. I have to have like my Wi-Fi on. And I think you can enable like OK Google or whatever, but I have not gotten that far. The app fucking sucks. It's got so much on it. And several times it's like the light bulb's offline. So I can't do anything on my phone with it. It doesn't remember the settings that I had before. I just flipped it on. I flipped it on and it just kept like, it was like brighter and dimming and brighter. And I'm like, I can't, there's
Like
not,
it's
I can't,
supposed to
it's
be
not
on
even,
a fucking
it's-
Christmas tree or
it's
something.
saying it's offline. I can't even change it. It's so fucking stupid. I left such a bad review on their
Yes.
on the app
Good.
and everything. I'm like, oh my god. And it had bad reviews, but I'm like, why? Like, why? This should be, for one thing, this should be so fucking simple if it's Bluetooth. Bluetooth has been around for a long fucking time now. You can have it figured out. It's like, but the app, it has like so many different options and all this kind of just, it was so fucking annoying. It was so annoying to get it. And finally, it kind of was cool. Then it was like, okay, fine, we can change the colors. But then the next time I tried to use it, it's like, oh, and then if I couldn't get it to work, you know, it's like, oh, it's offline. Stand close to it, flick it on 2 or 3 times, or go reset your fucking modem.
God. Oh my god.
Yeah.
How do I possibly figure out this impossible riddle? Thank you, life, you asshole.
Fucking
Jesus Christ.
So
For the people
annoying.
For the people who made that,
Death penalty. It's immediate death penalty.
They obviously do not use that product. It's so annoying. The one that Umberto had with the little clicker, it was like fine. It was like nice.
Yeah.
It just like, you know,
it was
like
probably just straight from China. It
yeah,
works.
not some bullshit at
Look,
Lowe's that I got made in America.
That's the thing.
Some kind of trash.
That's the thing. It's like you get, you either get something that, like, they're all just consistently kind of awful. Like, and you get it, and then you realize you go to leave a bad review, and you realize that all the reviews are kind of bad.
Yeah.
Or you get something from Amazon made with slave labor that, if you get a good one,
It's all slave
awesome.
labor under capitalism.
It was cheap and it works great. Or you get 1 out of every 10 that just straight up doesn't work. You know, it's just broken. And
Never
you have
tell me the odds.
And maybe
Yeah.
maybe you'll get to return it, get a new one that'll work right, and it just kind of sucks and it's inconvenient, you know, or
Except
something
for,
like
you know
that.
what? You can lie to Amazon pretty easily and they'll just send you new stuff. They don't really seem to like, that's like something that you can do.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I've lied, been like, I didn't get it delivered. They just like send you another one. It's like, well, now I got 2.
Yeah.
You delivered it to the wrong place.
Facebook.com/marketplace. Okay,
Yeah.
there we go.
I've totally done that
It's like,
before.
and then you start making YouTube videos. What's up, gang? This is how I make $1,000 a week by scamming Amazon.
Yeah.
Or as I call
Scamazon.
it, Scamazon.
I went to one of those Amazon lockers the other day. I had because they can't figure out, because our place, like the address of it, they keep delivering to our neighbors. So I just delivered one to an Amazon locker. I don't know if you've used one before, but there's
haven't.
one at like the Bartell Drugs. And I went there and you just go with your phone. You just make sure like Bluetooth's on, location's on, whatever. And
God.
you just, it makes
And you're like,
it's,
and then the light just kept going on. And
No,
off,
it
and
was-
you're like, Bluetooth wasn't working.
No, it was really easy. Like they were like, okay, you have to set this up
Good.
for the first time. This should take less than a minute. And I was like, okay, because I was all ready to be like, oh fuck.
Yeah, to have
Because
something go wrong.
Yeah, and then it was like, okay, do this, and just hit that. Okay. And do this. All right. Now you just start and say, this is the item you want to pick up. And I clicked it. And one of the doors, it's just like this cabinet and there's no handles on any of the lockers. One of the locker doors just went pop and popped right open after I clicked it on my phone. Just like said, okay, this is a package I want to pick up. And there was my package. And it just is like so incredibly simple. It's like you go there, you say, pick this up, and it goes boop, pops open the right door. There's like 12 of them or whatever with no numbers or anything on any of them. Yeah. And there it was, my 4-foot long wig for my Halloween costume.
Yeah. So. And it all works, and it all runs on Amazon Web Services, which holds like 60% of the American internet and like of our content.
Yeah.
And it's like that's the problem, is that we can all hate Amazon. It's like, and I hate Amazon like abstractly, but it's like
pretty nice.
But everything that I use them with, it's like they do pretty well. I always have good experience with it.
I know.
With their products. I have like Fire Sticks, all this stuff. It's always convenient. It's like the ideal world is moving towards a socialist government public-private partnership and nationalizing Amazon. It's like, wham! Suddenly we have this huge section of the economy nationalized with fantastic infrastructure. All of these people working with full benefits for the
4 hours
government,
a day,
shit
like
works.
I would just
just
like,
hire more people.
Exactly.
So they work less hours.
Automate all that crap that you can do.
Same shit.
It makes it so easy.
Yeah,
and just
same
pay
shit.
people.
They're already supplying like 50% of the work that the USPS is doing, delivering packages, and stuff. It's like that's the only reason that the Postal Service delivers stuff on Sundays now. It's like that was unheard of back in the day, but because of Amazon, they do that now. It's crazy. But
yeah, and if we could just all benefit from it instead of making someone just
I think
rich.
I've had a bad experience with Amazon or Amazon products, like, I don't know, 1% of the time. I don't know.
Yeah, it makes they're very convenient. And of course it's run because it's like, well, the workers and all this kind of stuff. It's like, yeah, but you change some of those things. And if all of that profit wasn't just going to a couple people, all of that is possible. It totally is. It's 100% possible if you just don't have someone making such an obscene amount of mony that within 10,000 lifetimes,
infrastructure has been laid to make all of this so convenient for people. I mean, that's kind of the ideal thing. Is not just the world being socialism. It's capitalism changing the world, like revolutionizing the world through industry and paving the way to create the conditions to make it possible for the workers of the world to unite and create socialism, etc. And then communism or whatever, so that we don't even need money or anything. We all just live, etc., etc.
And have robots do
and it's
our
not
work.
it would be at a point where you're not even using those words. There's no point, that's like Star Trek level shit, but where it's like, but you have to have, the basic, you have to have the conditions to make it possible for us all to, be able to sit back and let industry work for us too. Like, we can't just, if it was 100 years ago, we couldn't be like, all right, now let's all, we can do this and split all the work and work 4 days a week and stuff. It's like, no, we'd be living in squalor. It's just we weren't quite there yet, as far as I would think, but I'm an idiot. But anyway, I don't know.
Because I look at that and I'm like, oh yeah, it seems pretty creepy.
But
advancements in technology.
Halloween.
Oh, Halloween, nice.
That's where AI should be going, but instead it's just taking people's jobs and not improving anything for fucking anyone.
And as we talked about before this, computers are pretty fucking stupid because GarageBand couldn't even figure out what to do once I changed the input. So I'm like,
both of us had problems with GarageBand.
They cannot be in charge of anything. Computers are so dumb. AI is not a threat. It's just really annoying what they're doing with it.
Yeah.
Like AI itself, the way we use it. Yeah.
My headphones were blasting.
Our pets' heads are falling off!
Nice. But, okay. Well, I was thinking we're going to do a back-to-back special.
Double header.
Here. We feel like we owe it to you guys. Shout out to Wendy saying, where's my episode? Where's my episode?
Classic Wendy.
Much as Homer did in the strike of '88 when they won the dental plan. And he injured himself, saying, "Where's my burrito? Where's my burrito?" It's in the fantastic Simpsons episode. Oh my God, I can't believe I just did that. Last Exit to Springfield. Sorry.
Ooh, that was
wow.
Close
that was
call.
Embarrassing. But,
Suck my dick, government!
I want to read this to you. I was reading the local newspaper. I have a subscription to our local newspaper, and I just couldn't help but read this like in the voice of Andy Rooney.
All right.
It was like at the end of 60 Minutes, It's just, what really grinds my gears, kind of thing. This is from the advice page of the Tri-City Herald. There must be a syndicated column, Dear Annie. Let's see here. The wife whose husband had an affair 20 years earlier. None of her friends told her about it. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. I got an incoherent letter. Yada, yada. They killed the messenger. Thank you for your letter. Yada, yada. Dear Annie, why do Americans have so many ice cream products? This week, I went to the supermarket, and there were 10 new ice creams to choose from, and I was just about to finish off trying them all from the prior week. I'm not fat. Yet. Yes, even with the problems of supply, they somehow still manage to pack the refrigerators with new choices. I find myself spending at least 5 to 10 minutes trying to choose an ice cream that is healthy, economical, and tastes good. See, I mean, I'm trying to do this with the cadence of Andy Rooney, and as far as I know, I'm nailing it.
Yes.
In my country, we have fewer ice cream choices, but they all taste good. Should I check myself to see if I have obsessive-compulsive disorder? Or should I be concerned that we indeed have too many choices in America? Another crazy complaint, if I may. I recently found out that a famous ice cream brand with a European label is not actually European. The first time I found this product, I happily told the clerk, who often sees me hanging around the ice cream aisle, that I had found a European ice cream. He didn't seem surprised, but actually looked concerned. I felt like an idiot after I found out it's made by an American corporation. No wonder he looked concerned. So this has been my problem, and I need a solution. Maybe you can help? From too many choices. What the fuck is your... What?
Wow.
I was like, what is this?
That is
Who
very
wrote this?
strange. This is like really good, like, what is that book that you like so much, where the Garbasians? That's like straight up something like that. Oh my god. If that's someone being like a joke, that's really funny.
Yeah, and not only that, like the obvious reference to being hoodwinked by Haagen-Dazs. That's obviously what it was. Like, where the story is that it's a made-up Danish word that's not from Europe. That's it's supposed to be Danish, right? I think is what it is. That was purely a marketing tactic like 80 years ago.
Two dots over the A or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, it's made it to seem fancy and European. Everyone knows that. And then there's a whole answer to it, too, from Annie. Isn't America great? The complaint in many countries is that there aren't enough choices. Is it? Is the complaint in many countries that there aren't enough ice cream choices?
I guess I'm not very well traveled, so I don't know.
But I don't know. Well, your concern about this country is that we have too many choices of ice cream. That's a sweet thought. Hey, Annie, what a writer. In all seriousness, you bring up a good point that too many choices can actually be detrimental to your well-being. Psychology professor Barry Schwartz argues that having an infinite number of choices can be exhausting.
An infinite number, yeah.
I don't know. Whoever this person is that wrote in said that they almost tried every flavor at the supermarket.
That's dedication.
I kind of breezed past that, but they went to the supermarket and there were already 10 new flavors, and they were about to finish off trying them all from the prior week.
I'm trying to imagine what they mean by flavors. Like, do they mean like popsicles and all that, going through all the novelties like every week? Like, oh, this wasn't here last week or whatever. But like,
oh,
what
man,
kind of life do you live?
I gotta try them now.
Yeah.
Just throwing up their hands, Jesus criminy, and just putting
every
more
week.
into the, you know. They're like they know that
Who's making you do this.
The clerk often sees them standing
that's why
there
he's concerned.
in the ice cream thing,
Not the
which you
Haagen-Dazs
probably
thing.
can't see from like the cash register. It's just happens so often that they usually walk over there and kind of peek on this befuddled old
Like,
Andy Rooney man with the bushy eyebrows, being like, he's here again.
Yeah.
They're like, it's dripping on the floor. He's still staring at the ice cream's melting out of his cart. We got to get him out of here. And he's like, oh, there's new flavors everywhere. Like, got to try all the new ones. But yeah, I'm not fat yet. Okay. All right. Calm down, pal. All right.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're eating
You're
all
America,
that kind of
pal.
ice cream.
Just because you're not as fat as us doesn't mean you're not fat already, okay? But yeah, let's see. An infinite number of choices can be exhausting. We can set unrealistic expectations and then think we might have made the wrong choice. Oh.
Everybody's telling us to stop doing what we're trying to do.
Next time you go to the supermarket, make up your mind on the flavor you want before you enter. And don't let all the choices seduce you into swaying. I don't think this is the proper advice that they're looking for. I don't think this really tackles the issue that the person had.
I see no problems with this. Keep living your life. I like it. Write in what's the new flavors next week? How many new flavors? Keep me updated.
How many new flavors are there? Get them all. Get a spoon.
Try them all.
Support your local economy. If that's not what you're going to do, just
stop.
That's it. Either go
Don't
all out
write to me.
or
stop.
That's it. Either way, I mean,
they should definitely not be with guns telling people what to do. These guys.
That is really funny and strange, and that's really funny.
Yeah,
that's really strange. Yeah, I just I'm imagining if like this is a real person. It's like you could just like have a favorite. You could just go to the store and you could just get that. It's like I grew up somewhere else. It's like we didn't have very many options. It's like, so what did you do? Did you just keep buying all of them and deciding? And so you just like them all? That's fine too. You could just like always get a different kind, but there's no pressure to try them all. Not everyone else is out here living
That's
like.
what I think is funny is like imagining that this person is like, I don't understand how America Americans do this, like, because they
We
think
don't.
that you have to get all of them. They're like, now there's 10 new ones. How do they do this?
Yeah,
like,
how do they
now-
keep up with it?
Oh man, okay, I gotta try all the new ones. So like, because back in my country, you get a new flavor of ice cream,
You try it.
you have to get it. If you don't,
We just
believe it or
got-
not, straight to jail.
Yeah, we
You know?
just got strawberry.
if you don't get the new ice cream,
Not good.
yeah, you don't know. You don't want to know what's gonna
Yeah,
happen.
that's
What's gonna
my
happen
country,
to you. You
yeah.
don't know, but it's
Not good.
like, but just like this strange like thing in their mind where they're literally like being forced to like get all of the flavors. They're like, oh my god, what am I gonna do now? And now they've got this, you know, a new brand starts getting carried by the store. Umpqua, what is this?
How many
You know?
flavors do they have?
There's
Yeah.
like peanut butter cup,
Yeah.
you know, with a fudge stripe through it, and
And
they
it
just
only
break
comes in-
down crying in the aisle.
It only comes in quarts. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
No, pounding on the glass.
Yeah.
Like, oh boy, it finally happened. We broke him.
I think you should write to Annie and say, what is up with that ice cream guy? Can we hear more from him? Like, can I give a shout out to the ice cream guy? I love you, and I want you to
Yeah.
write more about your adventures to me personally.
I think that whatever I write to Annie will probably get published, because I'm sure that the reason that article is in there is because they don't get any letters, and
I
so they
think you
had to
should.
put something in there. Because who's writing to advice columns in newspapers nowadays?
I feel like we have to respond because that's so.
Let's put out let's put out a clarion call from the podcast.
Yeah.
And you know, this is an open letter.
Yeah.
To Mr. Ice Cream, Mr. International Ice Cream,
Yeah.
and Mr. Now International Ice Cream expert at this
Yeah.
point knows more about ice cream flavors than I ever have.
Yeah. I just want to know, more about kind of what he's thinking. You know, he's just kind of why he feels the pressure.
yeah, exactly. Just why? Just why?
Yeah. I just
Why are you trying every flavor? And also, do you like ice cream?
Yeah. It's like, because you don't have to have
like-
ice cream at all, actually.
Not particularly.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm lactose intolerant. My life is a living hell.
But they keep putting out new flavors.
Every day is a waking nightmare, and I spend 4 hours a day on the toilet.
I love that.
Well,
Sounds like you're pretty into this,
I
buddy.
am, honestly.
well, it's time. You know, it's funny. I felt like I was cursing a bit too much at the very beginning of the episode. I was kind of using filler words.
This episode?
You know? Yeah.
I don't fucking
yeah, at
remember
the
that.
yeah, I was like, fuck this, fuck you, man.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like this, it reminded me of this review that we got that not quite flattering.
And they do use the F-U-C-K words and the C-U-N-T I heard a few times, B-I-T-H, and S-H-I-T.
Okay, I just needed to be able to play that somewhere.
Nice.
It was funny. I hope that no one goes out and sees our transcripts of the shows that are on Apple Podcasts, because I discovered very late in the game that is a thing. That there are transcripts of our show that get automatically
That's
done
really embarrassing.
by Apple, and it's pretty bad.
Guess that's the price we pay for being inclusive to all audiences.
It just, all it
not
taught me
recommend.
was that I need to stop using
The N-word.
right now. Okay,
You
well, I
never
love
will.
you.
Love you too.
I'll talk to you in a few minutes. And shout out to everybody.
Adam Brown. Whoops. I just hit my
shout out
microphone
to
on my
Adam
face.
And remember,
Excuse me.
Everything Joe Biden touches turns to shit. Everything.
Oh my. We'll talk about it on the next one. Okay, I love you.
love you, bye.
Love you, bye.